여러분 안녕하십니까? 미주종합일보 최인성입니다. 룩킹포맘을 시작합니다. 룩킹포맘은 말 그대로 70년대부터 90년대까지 미국으로 입양된 한인들의 이야기를 소개하고 또 이들의 친부모와 가족을 한국에서 찾도록 돕는 그런 프로젝트입니다. 스스로 뭔가를 선택할 수 없는 그런 어린 나이에 가족을 잃고요. 다른 나라 또 다른 문화에서 삶을 시작한 한국인 입양아는 한국전쟁 이후에 무려 20만 명에 달한다고 합니다. 룩킹포맘은 이들이 한국의 가족을 찾는 작업이 우리 모두가 지켜줘야 할 중요한 권리라고 믿고요. 카메라를 켰습니다. 자, 오늘은 애리조나의 셔리 워드, 홍순옥 씨와 이야기 나눕니다. 순옥 씨는 태어나자마자 입양이 됐습니다. 자녀가 없었던 가정에 홍순옥 씨가 입양되고 더욱 가정이 행복해졌고 또 큰 가정을 가꾸게 됐다고 합니다. 그가 살아온 이야기와 앞으로의 계획도 함께 들어보려고 합니다. 자, 화상으로 초대합니다. 순옥 씨 안녕하세요.
안녕하세요.
네, 반갑습니다.
네, 반가워요.
한국 클래스 잘 듣고 있나요? You going along with the Korean classes?
네, I am taking the Korean classes, yes.
Okay. First and foremost, please introduce yourself to our viewers, who you are.
My name is Sherry Ward, also known as 홍순옥. I'm from Brooklyn, New York, and I'm temporarily residing here in Arizona.
I see. Now, that's a nice name, 홍순옥. Who named you and how? When?
I'm really unsure if it is my birth mother or if it's a name that was made up to prepare the adoption documents. But the person I'll give credit to is, I would say, my birth mother. My birth mother is Yi Hwa Sang, and that was given to me on my birthday, which is April 13, 1976.
I see. Well, before we're getting to the details of your adoption story, you didn't really go through agencies like a Holt or SWS or some of the agencies the other KAD friends did. Tell us what happened. You were born and then you adopted domestically and you had to fly all the way to the United States with your new family. Tell us.
네. So I was adopted by a Korean woman. Her name is Yoo Myung-cha. She's from Incheon, Korea, and she married an American soldier, Michael Ward, who is from Moravia, New York. So the two of them were married in Korea. They tried to have children on their own, and my mother, who I call my mother, who is also the adopted mother, had 5 miscarriages. So from there, that's when she made the decision that she wanted to adopt a child.
I see. Tell us your father and mother. I know the Michael Ward, your father, adopted father, served in the U.S. military back there in the peninsula.
Yeah, so my father just was pretty much was at the beginning of his military career. His first, of course, international overseas assignment was in Korea, and that's where he met my mother. He was pretty much a very young soldier, and he was, at that time, was one of his duties, the many duties, was a driver for a general. And of course, he would sneak into the NCO club or the officer club when he wasn't supposed to, and then of course he would go there and have a few drinks and be a little bit homesick. And of course, that's where my mother was at the time with her friends who was dating an officer. And over the time, that's where my father didn't actually notice her. It was actually his friend that noticed her. And he was the one saying, "Oh my gosh, look at that woman, and she's so gorgeous." And my father's just hunched over in the bar drinking with her, and kind of sad that he's, not at home. And then over time goes by, and of course he goes back to the NCO club again, and then of course there's my mom and her friend in there. And of course, my father's friend is like nudging him, like, hey, oh, she's here. That beautiful lady is here. And my father looked up and he's like, oh my goodness. And then that's the beginning of their story.
I see.
Of how they met and fell in love and all that stuff.
I wouldn't call it a coincidence, but what they call it destiny, right?
Yeah, destiny, I guess so.
What a nice story. But your adopted mom wasn't able to give birth to babies. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so I don't know the real story behind it. I know that there was a lot of complications for her to conceive a child. So she did went through several miscarriages, about 5. And I don't know if it's just the stress of, you know, like marrying an American soldier and not the gentleman that they arranged to have her to marry and whatnot, and the stress of wanting a child and her body's rejecting the idea of not having a child. So I'm sure she was going through a lot at that time, and so she made the decision that, you know what, I'm going to adopt a child because obviously I can't conceive a child. And so I don't think her family was very supportive on the idea of her adopting a child. But she did it anyways because she wanted to have a child in her life. So she went to several orphanages, and by hopping around from one place to another, she never felt any kind of connection to any child at the places that she went to. So one day she just went home very tired and frustrated and went to sleep. And now I'm going to segue into the story about how my parents relayed a message to me about how I was adopted. So she went to sleep, took a, you know, and then of course in this dream, she had this dream about this gold pig, and this gold pig went up to the stairs to her room. It came knocking on the door and saying, hey, the next one is the one. And of course, at the same time, there's a knock and banging on her door, and it's the housekeeper knocking and saying, young, 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 you know, and saying, like, wake up, wake up, wake up. And she woke up, and the housekeeper was saying, hey, there's a woman in the hospital. She's giving birth. She wants the child to go to a family immediately. She doesn't want the baby to go right into the orphanage.
I do have the story about the behind story about the reason they had to let you go. According to the record, your birth mom lost her husband, and then she was alone, and this relationship started with this man. Must be the last name Hong, I believe, right? And then they had to let you go to this new family. So when you were 5, you were adopted. No, when you were
As soon as I was born.
Right after you were born, you were adopted, and you still stayed there in Korea for 5 years, right? What kind of things did you go through when you were in the States? I'm sure you had this Korean passport to come here, right?
Yeah. I don't recall anything. I just know what my parents told me. I think they just, I mean, for some reason, my gut instinct is telling me that I feel like maybe my birth mother was seeing me how I was raised from a distance, but I know from what I've heard from different perspectives, mainly from my father. I didn't hear this from my mother, but my father told me that as soon as all the documents were processed, that it was kind of like, I don't want to say like a restraining order, but it was kind of like while they were still in Korea, like you can't be in close proximity of the child.
I see.
So that's the only information that I know about that since the minute I was born and up to the age of 5. But there has been any stories about any communications or contact with the birth mother during that time frame, but I have a feeling that maybe she was watching me from a distance. So
right. So obviously you have, like I said, you have many clues. You have your mother's legal name, 이 화상, and I have her address here too. It says 서울특별시 영등포구 공항동 56에 12. And also they have a family origin address too, which is 서울특별시 영등포구 공항동 54. So that's a nice way you can track the record with. And I also have a picture I've seen this picture many times, but for our viewers, this is the youngest photo, I believe. And we'll post this in a color picture. I believe this is like several months after you adopted your family. And this,
Yes.
and this is your dad, mom, right? I see. Another picture I have is this lady there. You're in the nice little toy car.
Yeah.
So she's
Yeah,
supposed
that is my mother's aunt.
Mother's
Yeah.
aunt. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. She must be somewhere around 40 or 50 or something like that, right? Mm-hmm. And I do have your original, the first ever Korean passport that was issued 82. 홍순옥. So you did keep this legal name as a 홍순옥 before you.
Yes, I had a legal name until I was the age of 18, but that legal name wasn't changed until I got my U.S. citizenship.
I see.
But from the minute we started moving over to the statesides, we were already using my American name, Sherry Ann Ward.
see.
So Sunup was just basically kind of, that name was disappearing, I would say.
I see. This is another picture with the high school uniform. I'm not sure. We're not sure about this lady, right? But you
No,
in there,
yeah.
smiling. Such an adorable kid right there. We're showing this picture just because there might be a hint or any kind of clue if you can get a hold of this lady there. It says 78 May. So if she was a high school student back then, she might be, I don't know, around 60, early 60s somewhere,
60s.
right?
Yeah.
So if you say, any viewers out there see this picture and it looks like you, call us. And also this picture with the brother and another sister, probably neighborhood that you guys play with this in this playground.
I think they're cousins. I'm not sure.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, but it has to be family related on my adopted mother's side.
Your adopted mother's side families, cousins, right? Okay. Got it. Now, I understand that you were planning to go back for the first time. That's for the first time, right? Yeah,
time.
we'll get to that plan later, but I know you've been doing this extensive research on your family origin and your birth mother and birth mother's family, hopefully. What have you got so far?
So far, what I found is that pretty much the letter saying the reasoning why she put me up for adoption. The other things I found so far is that I did find a hospital ID card of some sort.
Oh, you did? Okay.
And that hospital is named Severance Hospital.
Okay.
I think that's in Seoul.
Yes.
So right now, I don't know as of yet whether that's the hospital I was born in, or whether it was just the hospital where I was getting the medical checkups and updates
I see.
since I was born. So that's the only things that I found so far.
What about the trace of the your birth mom's name and address? Have you done any? Have you dug out anything out of that?
I've tried to do as much research here stateside, and the only thing I found on what Google will allow me, or the Google Maps will allow me, is that it shows the address is like near the airport, I think Gimpo Airport, but it doesn't show any other additional details or not. So that's one motivating factor why I want to go to Korea, to actually, maybe if I can do the research on foot, I can get more leads on my search. So that's the only thing I found. And of course, I randomly Googled Yi Hwa-sang's name, and it ended up being a Korean national poet who basically who helped out during the resistance of Japan, which I thought it was really neat. But I was just like, the birth dates were off, but, so there's probably no DNA relations to it. But it would be great if there was a DNA connection to that.
I'll get to that part later. A group of local high school students organized this Looking for Mom supporter group, and obviously one of the students came up with a nice video clip to support you, to encourage you, and also to encourage this project. And this is about 2.5 minutes video. Are you ready to watch this?
Yes.
We'll play this.
I'm excited.
Hi Sherry, my name is Candice and I'm a part of the Youth LFM project. I recently read your adoption story and it was just so genuinely inspiring to me. After reading about the sentiments that you hope to tell your mother one day, I was honestly brought to tears. You've been able to overcome so many obstacles, and the way you've been able to persevere despite the adversity that you've experienced is so captivating. I hope that I can be as strong-willed as you someday. So for my video, to you, I'm going to be making art of something that you're interested in. In this case, I found out that you have an interest in movies that kind of surround the concept of an underdog. Slumdog Millionaire kind of came to our radar, and we watched the movie. I was glued to the screen from beginning to end. So when I heard that you liked the movie yourself, I was elated because I liked the movie. And I decided what a great idea it would be if I made art for you about the movie. Basically fan art. And through this piece of art, I hope that I can be able to show my support and give thanks to you in some sort of way for the amazing inspiration and motivation that you've given me. The scene that I chose to represent and draw in my drawing to you is the train runaway with Salim and Jamal escaping from the gangsters that were raising beggars. To me, it was one of the last moments that I could really see these children as pure innocent kids. It left a really big impression on me, especially when considering all that they've been through and how the movie would continue on forward. I thought it was one of the most significant moments. I sketched with a pencil and used watercolor for the coloring. I didn't want to make the colors too intense or too bright. I kind of just wanted it to be sentimental, and I used color pencils to top off the outlines for a little more clarity. Here's the final product! I hope my drawing was able to brighten your day just as your story has to us LFM leaders. Hope you enjoyed. Stay strong. Bye!
How did you like it, Sherry?
I really like it. Joel. Never Joel.
Yeah, she's Candace Choi from La Habra, California, thinking of majoring in art. And Slumdog Millionaire, huh?
네.
Okay, you still remember the story of that movie?
Uh-huh.
I see. Now, back to our conversation. I know you took the DNA test. Did the test tell you anything?
I took one DNA test and I submitted all the raw data files to several. So I did the 23andMe, the Ancestry, and then the Family Tree DNA. And also there's another one called GenMatch. And pretty much all of them across the board, like I discovered third and fourth cousins, which is great, somehow related, but there's no exact biological link on the either the father or the fraternal or maternal side. Interesting enough, I did find one lady who is living in Europe. She could be a possible second third or fourth cousin, but we are an exact chromosomal match, which is great. I still am doing research. I don't know much about these DNA segment links or whatnot, but I reached out to her thinking like maybe if there's if there's a possibility, if we are second cousins, then maybe that would help with the DNA findings of that. But in return, she was quite lovely. She's also a fellow Korean adoptee, just like me. And she managed to find her birth parents last year.
Really?
Yeah, which is really a huge inspiration. Yet she's younger. She was born in 86. Okay. But we're somehow related chromosomally, so which is a great lead right there in itself. So.
I see. Wow. The possible cousins that you found in the States, were you able to reach them?
Some, but not so much in the States. They're all in the States, but they're all third and fourth cousins. So some are fifth. So but there was no chromosomal match.
I see. Got it.
Yeah.
Now you're telling me you plan to go back to Korea for the first time, and I don't think it's a short period of trip there. Tell us about your plan. I think it's like a year-long plan.
Yeah, so I do plan to live and work in Korea as a English as a second language instructor. So hopefully when I get all the clearance with the visas and whatnot, I do plan to live there for a year or two. I know, like I've talked to other fellow adoptees, you know, a lot of them went on trips and they would go back and forth. And so my general mindset is I just go all in. And so it's going to be an interesting adventure to take it all in all at once because I haven't been there since the age of 5. And of course, because I didn't make trips before to make the comparison of the whole growth and change of Korea. So this is going to be my first, impression of Korea. And so I'm pretty excited about it, just to reconnect with the culture, reconnect with my roots as a Korean. And of course, to really dig a little bit deeper into my birth search. If I'm physically there, I feel like I can only do so much here, and I know technology is great and helpful, but I just feel like personally, if I'm there physically, I feel like I can at least find something. If I don't find anything, at least I find more leads, and
of course,
that's part of the main reasons why I want to go and live and work there for a year.
I'm sure you're expecting your visa in a couple of months, and have you the school that you're going to be teaching at? Has it been decided? Tell us if it is decided.
Right now, it's been basically my position has been delayed, so it's more about getting the clearance on the visa, and so hopefully once that's cleared, then I can be reassigned to another school.
Okay, we will name that school right below this video in the YouTube channel.
Okay.
Now you go back, stay there another year or two, and hopefully and certainly that you will see your birth mom or the birth family. Say you're right in front of your birth mom. I mean, this is kind of hypothetical, but are you ready to tell her something? If you are, what are you going to tell her?
Oh, there's a lot.
Take your time.
어머니 보고 싶어요. You are now, I think, 86, which means I'm getting old. Hopefully, or hope not, or if you are in heaven, I hope you can guide me by connecting me with any family that are living, to give me at least a picture of you. But I hoping you're alive and you're staying healthy, so that way I can see you. 건강했어요. When we do meet, I hope you know that I am not angry for the decisions that you have to make, that I am very grateful and thank you that you gave me a Korean mother. And I feel like by you giving me a Korean mother, that made me still feel connected to you. And I want you to know that I'm staying open, I'm staying positive, and I want you to know that I'm very understanding to listen to your story as well as you to listen to mine. With all love and kindness. Your daughter, 홍순옥.
You okay, Sherry?
Yeah. Oh, sorry, 미안해.
I'm lost. I don't know what to say.
So I just want her to know that, it's, it seems like, in my case, it's why it took so long, and right now I'm at a point in my life, like, I don't want to wait any longer without knowing, or, if I do find her or don't find her, but even if I can get a picture of her, whether she's living or not, I just don't want to go right now through life regretting of not finding anything. And I just want to continue finding, any answers to help me to continue to identify myself as Korean, to identify myself as a daughter to a Korean woman, as well as being loved by an adopted mother who is also Korean. So just to help put all the pieces together.
I think that must happen, and we'll pray for your reunion, and we will be there along with you. And also, I'm sure you will find a lot of people who can help you out there.
Yeah.
Thanks for your time, Sherry. We'll keep in touch.
Thank you. 감사합니다.
셔리 워드 홍순옥 씨는 한국에서 미국인 가정에 입양이 됐고요. 곧 미국으로 5살 나이에 입양이 된 비교적 좀 독특한 경우입니다. 핵심은 한국 내에 있었던 병원과 입양을 주선해준 도우미 일을 해주신 분입니다. 당시 인근에 사셨거나 홍순옥 씨가 태어났던 병원에 관련된 분들이 이 영상을 보신다면 반드시 도움을 주시면 좋겠습니다. 특히 순옥 씨는 한국의 전남 지역의 한 학교에서 학생들을 곧 가르칠 예정이라고 하니까요. 그쪽 지역에서 이 비디오와 영상을 보시는 분들이 계신다면 함께 응원해 주시고 또 격려해 주시면 좋겠습니다. 진행이 끝부분에 좀 여의치 않았는데요. 왜 그런지는 여러분도 더 잘 아실 것 같고 양해 말씀 드립니다. 룩킹포맘은 경동 나비엔 미국 법인이 후원해 주셨습니다. 다시 한번 감사 말씀 드리고요. 진행을 해왔던 저는 메이주 중앙일보 최인성이었습니다. 저희는 다음 인터뷰에서 또 다른 모습으로 다시 만나겠습니다. 여러분 고맙습니다.
Hello everyone, it's a pleasure to meet you. My name is Yoonhemi and I am the president of National Center for the Rights of the Child, also known as the NCRC. The NCRC is the one and only government institute in Korea responsible for developing and implementing child policies and child welfare related projects. Well, every year we handle about 2,000 requests from adoptees to find their birth families and support them with our post-adoption services. Well, we are working diligently and we are here to listen to you and to help you navigate the search process in any way we can. We are working to enhance the adoption information disclosure system as well as the laws and system in Korea so that adoptees wishing to reunite with their birth families can access necessary information with ease. We will also expand the DNA test program to help more adoptees with little records about their birth parents successfully reconnect with their birth families. We are always here to help you find your family. We want your search to be successful. We are working closely with the government and other agencies and are supporting network building for the adoptee communities. The NCRC and Korean government will continue to listen to you and aid your journey to reconnect with your birth family. Thank you. 감사합니다.